Good morning, Year 5, and welcome to Tuesday's set of lessons. I'm sure that some of you, like me, are starting to regret not going to the hairdressers just before a 6-week lockdown. So I imagine that my hair is going to get more and more exciting whilst we are doing this. As always on a Tuesday and every other day, we are going to start off with morning fluency. So what I will do is I will share my screen with you. You've got 13 questions to work through. I will put the link for the Baroque music to play in the background in the description underneath. Pause the video, and as soon as you're ready to go through our 4 targeted questions and the challenge question in the middle, just press play again. But try to make sure that you get through all 13 questions, especially as you've got slightly different time frames whilst you're at home. It's a really good chance to practice all of those skills that we've been learning throughout. Okay, so pause the video, and when you're ready, press play again, and I will go through our targeted answers. Okay, so let's have a look at our targeted questions. So I've gone for our addition 89,847 plus 12,638. I've laid it out using the formal method. With larger numbers like this, you will probably want to use the formal method. It's quicker than trying to work out in your head and keep track of all of the digits that you have to carry. So 7 ones plus 8 ones is 15 ones. So my 5 goes in the answer, and my 1 from my tens goes underneath so that I know to exchange it. 4 tens plus 3 tens plus the extra 10 gives me 8 tens. 800s plus 600s gives me 1400s. Now I can't fit 14 in there by itself, so I need to have 4, and then I need to exchange the 1 to the thousands. 9,000s plus 2,000s plus an extra 1,000 gives me 12,000s. So again, I can't fit 12 in there, so I'll put my 2, carry my 1. 8 10,000s plus 1 10,000 gives plus another 1 10,000 gives me 10 10,000s. Now, because I don't have anything else to add on, I can just put that straight in. Annoyingly, it's made my text go funny, but our answer is 102,485. Now, moving on to subtraction. I can't do 2 take away 3, which means that I have to borrow, which means that we get the joys of seeing me try to draw on here using the mouse. So I'm going to borrow from the tens, turning 1 10 into no tens, and turning my 1s into 12. 12 take away 3 is 9. I can't do 0 tens take away 2 tens, so I have to borrow from my hundreds, turn that into a 6. 10 take away 2 gives me 8. I can't do 600s take away 800, so I need to borrow from the thousands. Giving myself lots of borrowing here. 1600s take away 800 is 800s. I can't do 4,000s take away 9,000s, so I need to borrow from my 10,000s. 14,000s take away 9,000s is 5, and I don't have any more 10,000s. So my answer is 5,889, as you can see, beautifully drawn on the screen. So for moving on to multiplication, for 6 lots of 7, I'm going to count up in 7 6 times and see what number I end up at. So 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. So my answer must be 42. And I'm also going to use that skip counting for my division question as well. I'm going to count up in 9s until I reach 72 and see how many it takes me. So 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72. So that gives me 8. Now let's have a look at our challenge question. 26,243 spectators attended a football match. A local newspaper reported that the attendance was 26,000. To what was the attendance rounded? Circle the correct answer. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write 26,000 as digits, because sometimes when we see it as a word, we can get a little bit muddled. And especially when rounding, it's useful to see where all the zeros are. Now I can see that 26,000 is a multiple of 1,000, but it's also a multiple of 10 and 100. So it doesn't quite give me the whole answer just yet, but I can rule out 10,000. It hasn't been rounded to the nearest 10,000. Now, if I look at 26,243, I can see that it's got 200s, which means it gets rounded down when we're rounding to the nearest thousand, which means it gets rounded to 26,000. I would double check just to see. If I was rounding it to the nearest 100, it would be 26,200. If I was rounding it to the nearest 10, it would be 26,240, which means that my correct answer is it's been rounded to the nearest 1,000. Hopefully you got some of those correct. If you didn't and you were a bit confused, then please feel free to email me with any questions that you've got. But hopefully that's warmed your brains up, ready for another day of learning from home.